And we are recording. In the Name of the Mother, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms has been downvoted to a 9.6, but who cares about that? The Breaking Bad fans are begging for a truce after their Ozymandias was downvoted to a 9.7 out of 10, and they are now scared of the Game of Thrones fandom because they didn't realize that they're petty like they are. You know, because for like a decade, I was explaining this to my chat, for a decade, they've been getting away with this. And what I mean is, like, Breaking Bad fans have been downvoting things like Attack on Titan, Full Metal Brotherhood Alchemist, other major shows. But they didn't realize that when they stepped up against Game of Thrones, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and gave it it was at a 9.9, they dropped it down to a 9.6. They didn't realize that the Game of Thrones fans were like, oh, okay, we can do this. We can do this. And what I think is so funny, I was looking at the numbers. 2 days ago, this was at 245,000 10 out of 10s, which means that Breaking Bad fans have given themselves 50,000 more accounts to give themselves 50,000 more 10 out of 10s. This episode's been out for 13 years, and it's held the title of a 10 out of 10 for 13 years. So, yeah, 50,000 bot accounts right here. But we've got an additional 50,000 1 out of 10s thanks to, truly to the Game of Thrones fans, because they're petty like that. They don't care, and they're going to keep going. So, yeah, and now in the comments of the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, these people, I got to go over to those comments. There they are, 1 out of 10s, are literally begging for them to stop. It's not these ones, but apparently Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones fans are clashing and review bombing each other. I gave both Ozymandias and this episode 1 star because you both are petty and ridiculous. Maybe try getting a job or doing something good for mankind instead of fighting like this, like little children on a playground. By the way, none of these ratings mean a thing. Facts. None of these ratings mean a thing. They did mean something. What's up, Josh? They did mean something to the Breaking Bad fans. And the Game of Thrones fans were like, hey, we could do this, man. We could do we're born and raised in war. That's all our show is about, is war. War. Yours is about a teacher who makes illegal products and then gives them to people that do war. Y'all ruined 2 masterpieces. Y'all, by the way, this is on A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Y'all, they are pointing the finger directly at the Game of Thrones fans, instead of pointing the finger at who started it, the Breaking Bad fans. Let's see here. Voting both 1 star because of the war. Why the F can't we have 2 episodes with a 10 out of 10 rating? This is so ridiculous. Ozymandias and In the Name of the Mother are so good, and now it's ruined. They both deserve 10 out of 10. We should stop review bombing because it sucks and ruins shows for future review. But yet again, and they're here giving a 1 out of 10, but not blaming the people that did it. They're blaming the Game of Thrones fans for getting their lick back. Isn't that crazy? If these people were running the government, if you protected yourself in any kind of situation, you'd go to jail for self-defense. All right. Wire. I don't know what this means. Yeah, they're talking about like some nonsense stuff. In the Name of Ozymandias, ridiculous. You guys downrated it to a 9.7. Like, seriously. The irony of this from the people that are downvoting it, this episode of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, to a 9.6. The irony. I know that Breaking Bad fans started it first, but why downrating an episode which at least deserves a 9.9? You tell me, because that's exactly what you guys did. Exactly. Oh my, it's like when they're typing, they don't realize the ironic circle that they've just gone into. You downrated it to a 9.7. After this war stops, I'll definitely rate this episode a 10 out of 10. Let's both fandoms stop this review bombing and rate them honestly, not under influence of ego. There we go. It is the ego of Breaking Bad fans for 13 years. They've gone and downgraded all kinds of other Invincible, all kinds of other shows, Attack on Titan, all kinds of other shows. Because of ego. Their egos get hurt. 10 out of 10. Oh, I can't take it. Oh, can't take it. You hit the nail on the head. But you also realize that you're like, it's just Game of Thrones fans. No, it was your fans. From Ozymandias, never watched a single episode, and yet they give it a 1 out of 10. Never watched a single episode of Game of Thrones franchise, but I'm putting 10 out of 10. Let's just stop this war. This is a 1 out of 10. Let's just stop this war. Breaking Bad fans started first and need to remove the low ratings. That's it. I'm sorry for them. I believe you gave it a 1 out of 10 to say this. You are them. This is rage bait. I believe these attacks just prove that the show is on the same level as Breaking Bad, or even better. Take it as a compliment. You gave it a 1 out of 10. It's the bullet coming from the weapon. You might want to hold off. This episode would have fallen off anyway. It had like what, 10,000 reviews, and when it had 10 out of 10, Ozymandias had 340,000 reviews. A couple of days ago, it didn't. 340,000? Hold on. I've got pictures from a couple of days ago. I'll look it up later. I don't think it had 340,000 before this thing started. Use some basic common sense. These people are so salty, and now they are begging, literally begging for a ceasefire. Hey, Game of Thrones fans, because I know you're just as petty. We're just as petty as the Breaking Bad fans. Are we gonna let this slide? Are we gonna let this slide? No. Now, I'm going to be happy when the Ozymandias is a 1 out of 10. That's it. Or every episode of Breaking Bad. Because that episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And, hey, Ozymandias is a great episode. I love Breaking Bad. But, yeah, you don't mess with Westeros. Nope. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Whose side are you on? Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones? Let me know in the comments. And should this war end, because the Breaking Bad fans are they're hurt and they're begging for it to stop.